There's a million ways to make $1 million. You just got to pick one, right?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you know, my dad was always worried. I remember one day I came home with the hand tattoo. He literally pulled me outside and said, "Son, I don't care how the fuck you get it off. Go to whatever shop removes tattoos and have that shit removed off your hand because you're not working here with it." I said, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "You're my dad, but you're also my business partner.
Yeah.
You can't talk to your business partner like that." One of the biggest things I took from my dad. So simple.
Yeah.
You got a glass of water. Is it half full or is it half empty? You put it up in the middle. Had 3 mini strokes on my cerebellum.
Oh my
So I was seeing like quadruple and shit. I was street racing. They shut the interstate down, helicopter, everything. There was 15 of us.
Shit.
You know, I went to jail overnight.
No way for street
About 10
racing.
G's to get me out. I lost my license for a year.
All right, guys, episode 11 of the Miami Injury Lawyer podcast. We got Dr. Russ on the show today.
Thanks for having me,
Thank you
man.
for coming, brother. You guys will hear all about his story from chiropractor to now owning plenty of clinics and driving supercars every day. Lambos, Ferraris, G-Wagons.
Shit I didn't even know I would do or possible.
It's
you know
crazy.
what I mean? So.
And crazy story, I met him while I was driving my Lambo. He was driving next to me.
We started racing.
Yeah, we started racing down Brickell. And then he saw the Instagram on the side of my car. He's like, "Yo, you're a lawyer. Let's connect." And now we're here.
Yeah.
And that was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I'll make sure I clarify. I was cruising with my girl. He came hauling ass
Yes.
by me, trying to race. I was like, "All right, let's go. Yeah, let's get it."
We were crushing it.
And then I think we probably attracted about 15 cops.
Yeah.
Coming down Biscayne. It was so loud. Yeah.
That was fun, though. That was fun. You never know who you can meet in Miami. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Such a small city. Turns out we have a bunch of mutual friends. But nonetheless, let's hop right into it. Tell us about yourself from the beginning. Like, how did this whole thing start?
Oh, man. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I had no idea, you know, at 37 years old, I'd be living in Miami, living the lifestyle that I'm living, you know, own over $1 million in cars, you know, from
It's crazy.
You know, Huracans, fucking Urus, Brabus, G-Wagons, you know, R8 I just bought.
Wow.
Renting, you know, my Bentley Bentayga out, going to throw a few more in. So,
Amazing.
you know, in my mind, in my life, I never even thought about those things. So,
Right.
You know, me growing up, my dad was an orthopedic surgeon. You know, he obviously came from humble beginnings himself. You know, my grandparents pretty much started with nothing.
Wow.
My granddad built up what was called Sounds Great stereo shop. We had one back in, you know, probably, you know, he opened that in the 1950s.
Wow. Where's this?
Turned it into, it's in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah, he turned that into 4 different locations, all in Alabama.
Damn.
My dad's brother, actually, which is my uncle, obviously, he took over those. My parents, you know, my dad didn't want to do that. Obviously, he loves cars, always rode motorcycles, shit like that.
Yeah.
But my dad's brother was kind of a hellion like me. My dad wanted to be a doctor. My grandparents were like, "No, you don't need to do that shit. You're never going to make it, blah, blah." So they were never supportive of him.
Really?
And, you know, so I assume my parents would have been more supportive of things like that. But they were, you know, again, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My dad, just the same. Our whole family's military, you know, so
Wow.
strict as shit my whole life. I mean, my dad told me my granddad never said one cuss word his whole life. Never smoked a cigarette. Never drank alcohol. Never did a drug in his life. I mean, I'm talking straight-laced as straight-laced gets. You know, basically, you'd call that a square, I guess, would probably be the terminology.
Yeah.
He was a fucking square.
Wow. That's crazy.
And,
But
he
he was an entrepreneur.
Right?
Yeah,
I would say my
grandfather,
granddad back in the 50s, he was the entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, stereo shops, none of that shit was even talked about. He was one of the first ones and, you know, made it almost basically into a franchise in the 50s and 60s. And, dude, it's still, you know, still here today. We sold it about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, when I go home, I take my cars. They still all do my subs, my window tint, all
Nice.
that shit. You know,
That's
so it's
awesome.
still kind of a part of the family business.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I grew up in Jasper, Alabama, which is about an hour from where I'm talking about, where the stereo shops were.
Gotcha.
10,000 people.
Really? That's it?
Tiny town.
That's it.
Because, when my dad got out of med school, they offered him a pretty good amount to go, you know, work there, obviously, as an orthopedic surgeon.
Was he doing spine or extremity?
Yeah, he's doing spinal.
Nice.
So like I said, you know, when you get out of med school, they offer to pay you a $500,000 sign-on bonus, and, you know, you're making, you know, $10,000 an hour per surgery. You can't really turn that down.
Yeah.
That's the one drawback of my dad. He was never really a businessman.
Gotcha.
All he knew how to do was, you know, they paid him, he saved his money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because even back then, I mean, he's almost 70 years old. That's all you had to do. You know,
Right.
you didn't have to do what we have to do now as entrepreneurs. You didn't have to, have 5 different revenue sources, investment accounts, real estate portfolios. Everything's more expensive nowadays. So if you really want to be on top of your game, now you got to do 4 or 5 different things. Back then, you could just stack money, put it in one place, and do whatever the hell you wanted.
Right.
I mean, my dad did a little bit once he got into the 40s.
Yeah.
He got a couple of real estate properties.
Nice.
Owned a couple of lake lots, a couple of beach lots, Airbnbs.
Nice.
Stuff like that, just on the side with money he had just sitting.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he made all his money in orthopedics.
And did he try to push you to be a doctor? Is that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
we could go back to the beginning. I got off again on a little tangent. Just
Yeah.
kinda more of an overview. But yeah, lived in Jasper, Alabama pretty much my whole damn life till I graduated high school. Again, parents don't go to college anywhere. We want you to stay home. Again, it was Bible Belt. Couldn't do anything as a kid.
It's crazy.
No parties with anything. I remember when I was 14 years old, I snuck out and smoked weed one night with a few of my buddies and, got really drunk. Couldn't even get back home. I mean, it was a disaster.
Yeah, holy shit.
Did that one more time when I was almost 16 and my parents wouldn't give me my license until I was 17.
Oh,
because
shit.
I got so much trouble from doing,
You were the black sheep of the family?
I'm still the black sheep. We can get
Still,
into that
huh?
later. Yeah, but it's definitely not,
It's not a bad thing. It's not
I'd
a
say
bad
I'm
thing.
respected now, but
Yeah.
they're still not, proud of me per se because I didn't do what they wanted me to do.
Right.
Parents always think they know what's best for their kids, but
Yeah.
I've learned when you hold someone back from their potential and their passions, it's never good for anybody.
No, it's not. And it's good that you realize that because if not, you'd probably be living a miserable life.
Oh, I lived a miserable life for almost 35 years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was never truly happy.
Really?
Never really did what I wanted. Always just that fear of, what if this, what if that? They were always implanting things in my head, like you said. So, along the way, bits and pieces, I would do what I wanted.
Yeah.
But like I said, they'd always backfire. They would make sure they backfired. So then they'd be like, well, more scared. I shouldn't do that again. It's just going to get screwed up and I'm going to be back at square one. You know what I mean?
So when did you leave that small city?
So
Alabama.
I graduated high school. That was 2005.
Okay.
I did 1 year of community college. Only reason I did that was, like I said, I hated sports. Didn't like football, any of that shit. So
I was never into sports either.
the community college had a cheerleading team, actually. And they were like, hey, we'll pay your full ride first year if you cheer. I was like, cool. Let's hang out with chicks all day, throw them up in the air.
It's amazing.
Most people were like, oh, that's gay. I'm like, dude, come to one practice and you'll look at football and be like, football's gay. You're hugging and grabbing a bunch of dudes and, hitting them in the nuts and shit. And whatever. I'm like, nah, that's gay as hell.
Yeah.
You're with a bunch of sweaty dudes. I'm like, I'm hanging out with chicks all day.
It's great. Throwing them up in the air.
Yeah, I got $100,000 ride to school pretty much
great.
for a year and a half for free, whatever classes I wanted, food,
Yeah.
trips.
Were you built back then too? You were working out?
So I
a
was,
lot?
I'd started working out. That's another whole story we could get into.
Yeah.
I graduated high school literally at a $130, 6'1",
Holy shit.
skinny as shit. Yeah.
Damn.
Like I said, we could talk for days. I
Yeah.
got into, one of my buddies got me into, some anabolic steroids because I just, my granddad was 6'4", 170 pounds. So
Oh, God.
that's where I got my
Stick.
height, but he was
Yeah.
skinny. But yeah, I just started eating everything I could, all that. And then started cheerleading, obviously, put on about 25 pounds my first cycle ever.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty
You
wild.
shredded probably.
I wasn't shredded. I was never really
no.
lean at all, actually. But
you.
like I said, I started competing in 2015.
Okay.
That's when I really learned my body and started actually honing in and doing things properly.
Yeah.
Just more actual like true HRT, blood works, proper cardio, the proper food, not just like, oh man, let's eat, burgers every day. Even though I
Right.
had 3 or 4 clean meals, like I'm gonna eat a burger tonight, sushi tomorrow, pizza the next day. Like you had to stop doing all that. I mean, we can get into that, but I had 3 strokes, died twice.
Holy shit.
Pretty big health issues.
what were the strokes from?
So, they never could tell me definitively at the doctors. I was just the youngest person they'd seen in history with something like that go on. I was zapping, and that happened actually when I was in chiropractic school. Crazy story. We'll hit a quick point on that. I was 26. I was taking, it was my last semester right before like actual physical boards. So I was taking my last testing. Woke up, getting ready for my test, hopped in the shower, turned the hot water on. 3 seconds later, Just felt really weird. The whole right side of my body went numb. I couldn't feel it.
Holy shit.
Started like foam rolling. I still get PTSD even talking about this. Like it feels like almost like Phantom when someone gets their arm cut off, the stroke symptoms start coming back. It just scared the shit out of me. Couldn't feel anything, didn't know what was going on. Then when I realized what happened, I was just like, I'm getting raised in a military family. You got to be tough as shit.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm not missing this test. If I do, I'm probably going to fail the semester. Literally having a stroke, walked to class, took my test in 45 minutes, somehow made an 85 on it, couldn't think straight.
Holy shit.
Told Brent, actually. Brent took me to the hospital, your boy.
No way. Man, wow, you guys were that close.
Yeah, oh yeah. We were like brothers, man. He took me to the hospital, went in, they did CTs. I'm getting cold goosebumps talking about it, dude. One of the worst experiences of my life. They said, yep, you've had a stroke on your thalamus. I was like, okay. Well, no wonder that, you just told me your name. I don't know who the fuck you are. Didn't know what was hardly going on around me.
Holy
scary
shit.
stuff. Yeah, so, it was really bad. They did a bunch of extra testing. Obviously, my parents came down at that point when I called them. I was in the hospital a couple of days, got out. They didn't know what's from. They just said, hey, your blood pressure is really high. It was ischemic in nature, which means obviously blood vessel constriction. So not actually like any clots or anything.
Okay.
They put me on like Coumadin blood thinners, some blood pressure medicine, sent me home. Hey, just go back to your normal routine. I'm like, at this time, like I said, I'm about to graduate, had plenty of nutrition classes, same curriculum as medical doctors. I'm like, y'all are fucking idiots at this hospital. Fucking idiots. So I'm like, okay, let's just do their recommendation for the next 2 weeks, come back for the checkup. Bro, before I could even go back, went to the gym 3 days later doing squats, 315, like it's nothing, feel pretty good, go home, lay on like this side of on the couch, like just to watch some TV, get up. I'm like, man, I feel really weird.
Oh, shit.
Stood up, tried to walk, literally just fell completely sideways. Had 3 mini strokes on my cerebellum.
Oh, my God.
So I was seeing like quadruple and shit,
And you were living alone?
Living alone.
Holy
So you know what I had to do? Again, at this point, you think, I just had a thalamus stroke, hardly knew people's names. I was remembering shit like when I was 1 year old, when I went on like missions trip to Africa, with my dad hanging me over like crocodile pins and stuff. Like that kind of stuff was coming back because when it damaged the thalamus, obviously other parts of your brain will take over to try to make up. So the doctor told me it could happen. I could remember shit that I'm not supposed to remember, like deep in the conscience.
Holy
from when I was like 1, 2, 3 years old. But like you said, if you told me your name, my short term was toast.
Right.
It was nothing there.
Right.
So I was like, well, I know I need to go to the hospital. All right. So like I figured out, I started like pushing on my head. If I pushed down on my head hard enough, it would come out of the double or triple vision and I could kind of see straight. So I literally held my head and got in the car and drove myself to the hospital.
Holy shit.
Wellstar in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Oh my God.
Got out, go back in. They do the scans. Yep. You had 3 mini strokes. They kept me there a few more days. At that point, they put shit down my throat, checked all this more heart stuff, kind of like, okay, this is the second time. Something's got to really be going on. Same thing, didn't find anything.
Wow.
That time,
crazy.
Obviously, my dad being an orthopedic surgeon, he's into wellness. I call him. I'm like, all right, Dad, we got to come up with our own therapy plan for this shit because the doctors I'm going to die if I don't do something.
Right.
Obviously, at the time, like you said, he knew I was on anabolics.
Do you think it was from the steroids and the gear?
I think it played a role.
Yeah.
But you got to think, I was studying for boards. I was taking Adderall. I was sleeping 2-3 hours a night.
Got you.
When you combine all that, obviously blood pressure was a factor in it.
Right.
But yeah, even then, so like I do my research. What's cool is, this is fast forwarding, but that incident is what made me open my Vital Force RX supplement company. So we have like blood pressure support, kidney support, cortisol support, liver support. So like I formulated every one of these myself with my father.
Wow. So you work with your father now?
But I'm saying, like, at the time I wasn't thinking about a business.
No, of course
as
not.
an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, that shit's crazy. But that's how some of that got born. Was me and my dad created a blood pressure formula for me. From like Foriolskin, you name it, every herb out there. So it's all natural? I just went to Vitamin Shop and bought all the powdered and liquid herbs, was mixing them all together and taking them daily. and was like, dude, this combo of 10 things worked incredible. Blood pressure dropping like every week,
Wow.
10 points. So then I used that for a while, and then when I got out of school, I'm like, you know what? I want an integrative clinic. This shit's awesome. That's when I opened up my chiro office, integrative chiropractic.
Gotcha.
So that's when that was born. I obviously knew I wanted
Yeah.
more than just chiropractic, but I opened that up, named it that.
And
that
where
was
was
in-
that?
That was in 2014 in Alabama.
That was in Alabama. So
went
you
to-
went back home after after school in
after I
Atlanta?
graduated, got everything
Went
back
back-
in
yeah.
order. Went
Nice.
back, bought a practice from my buddy. So again, that was a funny story.
Yeah.
I won't say his name. He lost his licensing in Alabama. He actually
Oh,
practiced
shit.
down here in Miami. I don't really know what he was doing. Nothing crazy, but the board in Alabama is nuts, medical and chiro.
Yeah.
They shut him down. I'd already made the deal to buy his practice, but they shut him down 6 months before I could actually graduate and get in. So when I took over his practice, we had to renegotiate everything because he had 0 patients. They all left and went to Homewood and some other places.
Shit.
So, that really screwed me up because, they tell you in chiro school, the statistics, hey, 65% of, everyone who graduates out of school, if they open their own practice, they fail. 65% fails.
Wow.
I was like, well, I'm not going to be that statistic. I don't give a fuck if
Yeah.
I have no patients or I start with 200 patients, which
Yeah.
is about what he had, like consistent. So he did scoliosis treatment.
Oh, wow.
Clear technique. So
Okay.
again, I got certified in clear. I got certified in acupuncture, dry needling, cupping. I took a bunch of Graston courses. I mean, I did it all, sports, everything. But
And what year? This was 2014, you
so
said?
2014 is when I graduated, went back
Not
home.
even that long ago. You
Yeah.
only graduated chiro school 10 years ago.
Exactly. So,
Wow.
But as soon as I got home, like you said, I had to start from ground zero. Dude, I mean, I was running door to door, business to business, cards, you name it, because I had zero patients.
Right.
And what's crazy too, at the time, I had right before I left Georgia, I was street racing my CBR 1000 motorcycle up in I forget what they call it. It's that area where all the Georgia State troopers just harass everybody. What is it? Like Cummings, Georgia.
Okay.
They got a huge kind of place up there. Everybody rides, but we went and rode up there. It's kind of like Tail of the Dragon in North Carolina.
Gotcha.
We came down from there. Yeah, I mean, we were all racing on the interstates at that point because we were hyped up, bro. They shut the interstate down, helicopter, everything. There was 15 of us.
Shit.
They ran me off the road. They blocked the whole interstate, completely shut the interstate down, so they got us.
Fuck.
I went to jail overnight.
No way for
It's about
street
10
racing?
G's to get me out. I lost my license for a year because what's funny is I came home, I had no license.
Oh, my God.
So I literally had to, luckily my house was 1 mile from the clinic. I literally had to, again, talk about, pushing your pride down and ego. I had to ride a bicycle to the office every day while I'm building this shit out.
Holy shit.
And had no patience because he shut down 6 months
Oh, my
before I could get
God.
there. So you got to think what kind of situation I'm in. Coming out of school, $300,000 in loans. If that does, in my opinion, if that doesn't tell you what an entrepreneur is by definition, it's something like that. It's like, hey, you can get out of school with $300,000 in loans. Everything possible go wrong. No license, can't get to work.
Shit.
The business you just bought now has 0 patients, and
Oh,
you
my
even had, again, luckily instead of paying say $300,000 for practice, I was able to pay $30,000 and renegotiate.
Yeah, but still.
but I'm starting a business from scratch.
0.
And
there was no Instagram back then.
Oh,
I mean, maybe
yeah.
there was, but it wasn't popular.
Yeah, 2014 Instagram was there, but it wasn't like now.
Right.
It's like,
There wasn't social media marketing.
Yeah, there wasn't marketing. It was
Yeah.
it was all Google ads and a little bit of Facebook, but that was it. It was
Right.
like you said, I literally.
Door to door.
It was USPS. You print out the cards. You pay $500 per neighborhood, and they put them in the mailboxes for you.
Yeah.
You go to the mall. You go, because again, you can't just go put stuff in people's mailboxes. You got to pay the USPS
Of course,
to do
yeah.
it. It's just business to business.
Holy
so I
shit.
I was running the ground for like 3-4 months. Built
Yeah.
built it up to a $1 million practice.
Really?
In 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the third year, I think I took home about $500,000.
Nice. That's incredible.
But then that was when I was like, okay, for as much work as I'm doing, I got to step my game up.
Right.
And I always wanted the integrative clinic, so I was like, okay, we're gonna do something no one else is doing in Alabama, little bitty ass town. I'm like, we're gonna take integrative chiropractic. We've got chiro, we've got massage, we've got acupuncture, dry needling. We're gonna add in hormones, IVs, peptides, stem cells.
Wow.
So
and this was 3 years in?
This was at 2000. Yeah. So 2014 is when I got out of school and opened.
Yeah.
2018 in August was when I opened that new business. So it took me almost a year to build it out because I had 6,500 square feet in the bottom of a big retail center.
Nice.
And I was using the other side at the time. I was written out to this guy that did gymnastics. It was like 2,000 square feet. He was just paying me literally $500 a month. Can you imagine?
You own the building?
Yeah. Can you imagine? Why? I leased the building.
Gotcha.
With an open-ended kind of thing like a car where I could technically buy it if I wanted to at some point. It was a
option to buy.
Yeah, option to buy.
Nice.
And so but you got to think at the time.
Yeah.
He was only paying me $500 for rent in 2,000 square feet. Down here in Miami, what is it, $55 a square foot?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got to imagine what that equates to Alabama
Right.
that time versus now.
Right.
That tells you the social media ratios
Of
and
course.
shit too.
Yeah.
I mean, so, kicked him out. I'm like, all right. Called my dad. I'm like, hey, you want to be 50-50 on this with me? I'm doing this with or without you, but I don't want to go to the bank and get a loan. I already owe him $100K for opening up the first chiro business.
Shit.
Because the same thing. I just,
Yeah.
obviously, why would I not want to leverage my father?
Yeah, of
Millions
course.
of dollars.
Yeah.
I don't have to have interest rate. I can write a legit contract with an attorney and say, hey, if I don't pay you back by this date, then I start paying you interest.
Right.
So he was like, okay, we'll do that. Just let me be a part of some of it.
Yeah. At what point, because you said your father, was obviously very strict. You were the black sheep.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really supporting what you were doing.
Took a lot of finagling and negotiating and harassing him to, almost, sweet talk him into helping me.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, another one of those things where as an entrepreneur or, someone who really has no fucking stop, it's like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I have to do to get what I want.
Right.
Whether it's, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, hey, if I got to ask my worst enemy to come support me at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do as an entrepreneur.
You got to survive.
100%.
Yeah. Within reason, obviously.
Of course.
Of a moral compass. You're not going to go scam people. My point is, like,
of course.
I'd ask whoever the hell I'd ask to get it done. If the bank wasn't going to loan me money, so I went to the bank and they're like, no, we can't give you that. You guarantee I'm going to go ask every single person I know that has money, hey, can I do a loan? I'll give you this back, whatever. Let's make a deal. That's what entrepreneurs do.
100%.
They do whatever the fuck they have to get the deal done.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
So my dad gave me, he didn't give it to me. He put in $100K to open up the second clinic.
Yeah.
But the deal was there, since my business was already doing well, flourishing, it's all one building. I just floated the rent and all the power for the first year and a half till we got cash flow positive on the other business to make up. So basically I put my money in on that, so then I didn't have to pay him anything back on that business. But I also let him be 50-50 because we needed an MD to write the prescriptions for the testosterone, all that. Right. So I was like, all right, just be 50-50 with me.
Amazing. And where do you think that this entrepreneurship, like, drive and skill came from? Because they don't teach you shit about running a business in chiropractic school.
I didn't learn a damn thing in chiropractic school about business.
Did you was it self-taught?
I mean,
you just kind of figured it out along the way?
That's where my uncle came in. That's why I mentioned him earlier, man. He was the can sell ice to a fucking Eskimo guy.
Really?
You know what I mean? Now, again, I'll be honest with you. He taught me a lot of imperative stuff that helped me, but at the end of the day, he was no good with money.
Oh,
like,
really?
as far as financially spending it, and he could accrue it, but it went out the door just fast. So, like, when he passed away, he got cancer. Again, my whole family's had cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my dad had lymphoma. He beat it.
Thank God.
Obviously, my uncle, which is my dad's brother, he died of leukemia. Got a bone transplant. It got him. My granddad, what I was talking about, that open sounds great, liver cancer from World War II. Airplanes. He worked on the radios, the bomber airplanes and shit, and that killed him. So I have a huge high risk for cancer. So that's why I love the health and wellness world too. I want to help other people, but also got to take care of myself.
Have you heard of those full body scans that check for? Like, 100%. Have you done it?
I haven't. Yeah,
you haven't.
I'm one of those guys that ignorance is bliss with that.
Me too.
I'm just gonna do all the preventative stuff, like the peptides. I literally, special silverware. No, I don't drink out of plastic. Whole list stuff I do.
Nice.
Water filters, take out the chlorine, fluoride, everything. So, I just do everything I can to make sure I don't get cancer.
Right.
I know that's the only thing that's going to kill me.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the, what I mean?
That and old age. That's it. That's all you got to worry about.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you, you have a very unique look.
Yeah.
Have you, when did you, like, start? I'm assuming this is just you being yourself, obviously, right?
Right.
When did you
100%.
start expressing yourself in this way? What'd you say?
Probably, when I got when I opened the hormone business,
Yeah.
that's obviously when you could say, I guess, against my dad, I started getting a little more ballsy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, I'm making $500,000 in my chiro business. I'm literally running back and forth every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing a little bit of what I want. And I had like one tattoo on my leg. I went and got a huge ass tattoo on my back. Again, that one wasn't a big deal, just because it covered up at work.
Right.
Dad knew I had a couple little tattoos, but he was just like, hey, if anything shows at work, like, you can't have it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And obviously I came home one day with, the half sleeve from Georgia, went to my boy back that I went to school with, and he tattooed me up.
Yeah.
A little bit of that. I think, when I was home, I never had the face piercing.
Yeah.
Now I did come home with the nose before I moved down here, so that was really the only thing was the nose.
Do you feel like a lot of people judge you because of the way you look?
In Alabama, 100%.
Yeah.
Now again, my patients, because we established a good relationship with them, and I did everything.
Right.
Oh, they love me to death. They're like, oh, we love your tattoos. We like that you're different. That's
Yeah.
why we come to you.
Yeah.
My dad was always worried. I remember one day I came home with the hand tattoo. Oh, he literally pulled me outside and said, son, I don't care where the fuck you got it, how the fuck you get it off. Leave the clinic right now, go to whatever shop removes tattoos, and have that shit removed off your hand because you're not working here with it. I said, excuse me? I'm like, you're my dad, but you're also my business partner.
Yeah.
You can't talk to your business partner like that.
Right.
I said, this isn't personal right now. We're at work.
Yeah.
I said, the moment the numbers reflect my hand tattoo,
right,
and they start going down, then come back and you can tell me that, and I will go have it removed.
Right.
And the next 4 months, what do you think happened? We fucking were scaling.
Kept going up.
$10,000 a month in revenue.
Yeah.
And I showed him the numbers about 3-4 months later, and I'm like, here you go, Dad.
Yeah.
Please don't bother me again with your personal vendettas and shit.
Yeah.
I said, I'm still a Christian. I have good morals. I always help people. But I said, what I do with my body, I'm going to do what the fuck I want with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And that might offend a lot of people, but it's like I lived 37 years under someone else being unhappy. I do what I want now.
100%. And as you said, as long as you're a good person, that's what matters.
It's
you're not hurting anybody. You're just expressing yourself. That's it. And but that goes, it's a double-edged sword, but also it goes to show too, it's like, it's expressing yourself. Right.
You know what I mean? I think the reason half of fucking America is unhappy, like I said, they're stuck at dead-end jobs. They don't want to work. Mm-hmm. They don't do what they want to do. They're scared of what everyone's looking for some sort of approval from somebody.
Right.
To me, that's the biggest thing. If the whole world would just say, fuck it, I'm going to be me, like you said, express yourself, do what you want to do, take risks. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's why we're successful, because we're the outliers. 100%. We don't listen to anybody else. It's like sheep being herded off a fucking mountain. Yeah. Like people just follow them right off. I'm like, y'all can go do that. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. Now, again, in that aspect, that's what I've always done. I've always, like you said, kind of gone against the grain, even with my parents. Yeah. I've obviously, when I was under them, I paid the consequences every time. Course, yeah. But it didn't deter my mindset of saying, I'm still going to be this way. Right. I just have to hide it and hone it in around them. Yeah. But I can be myself when I'm not around them. Right.
And you were respecting them, too. That's,
exactly. That's just, hey, I'm younger. I have to respect my family.
Yeah.
They do help me. Like I said, who would I be if I take a $100,000 loan from my dad, then I just go shit all over him all the time and run his name in the ground, or like you said, try not to, he's a medical doctor. He's got tons of professors around him. I'm not going to wear a short sleeve t-shirt or a tank top around his doctor friends. If they all hate tattoos, I'm going to be respectful and be like, all right, I'm going to show up in a suit, something you can't see, cover my neck up as much as possible. Right. Because that's just having mutual respect for other people, because none of us are the same. Exactly. You don't really have tattoos. If you said, hey, man, I hate tattoos, I don't want tattoos on my podcast. Okay, cool. I'll just cover them up, bro. Yeah. That's not a big deal. Right. There's always that's another thing as an entrepreneur. There's always a solution. Right. People see problems. I just see solutions to everything. Yeah. If you start thinking that way, it's almost like, when I was really young, one of the biggest things I took from my dad, so simple. Yeah. You got a glass of water. Is it half full or is it half empty? You put it up in the middle. Right. You know what I mean? I was the biggest pessimist most of my life. Yeah. A lot of that came from being, I think, bitter and shit with my family and things like that. But once I freed myself, it was like, dude, I saw, it was because it was just like a complete 180 flip. Everything I saw was an opportunity now. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, I can do that shit. I know I can do that shit. And
Yeah.
I just never let anybody stop me.
Yeah.
The more people just said, no, you can't do that, the more it made me go, I have to do that now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So like, I love the haters.
Pushes
I
you.
love getting on Instagram now and seeing all these guys. Like I posted a post the other day for the first time in a while because I've been just so busy.
Yeah.
And I had on my stringer and the damn thing literally, my girlfriend bought it for me. It's huge, too big. It was like a triple X. But it's fit fine with like your belt on because it pulls it up, you know,
Right.
like the big pros. But,
Yeah.
you know, I had it without my belt and the damn thing came down like almost to my knees. Some guy was commenting, he's like, oh yeah, man, you look good in a dress. And I was like, bro, I love my fucking dress. I wear this shit every day to the gym. You know what? No response back after that. It's like,
Right.
I just fucking agree with you.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what you say.
Who cares?
I love my tank top.
Yeah.
My girlfriend got it for me. You don't know any backstory. I wear this shit all day long if I want.
Yeah.
Just like my tattoos. Like
That's it.
it just shows
gotta
that
be
you're not
yourself.
confident in yourself and you
100%.
gotta put someone else down to make yourself feel better. That's the worst quality in the world.
It is,
You know what I mean?
100%. And a lot of people have that quality now because they're so insecure.
Exactly.
They see so many people online succeeding, doing, going for their dreams,
When I was
pursuing
never
all those opportunities.
and I was never like that towards people, but I can see where it comes from.
Yeah.
Because of the life I lived. I was a pessimist.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be directly rude and an asshole to people like that, but in my mind I was always that way because I was such a pessimist. I was so held back.
Yeah.
I was always envious of everybody else. I just didn't really show it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I think made me so powerful now.
Yeah, of
You know what I
course.
mean? 'Cause
And now it's been 10 years since you graduated chiropractic school. Where are you at now?
Yeah,
Like
so I mean-
in terms of business.
That's what I'm saying. So, we, like I said, 2014 opened up the Chiro. 2018 added on the Vital Force Therapy Wellness Hormone Clinic. That's what it's called in Alabama. And again, one more cool thing I'll mention about my dad. Like, he opened the business for me.
Yeah.
He works one day a week. He signs off on all the protocols. He kind of just enjoys it because he likes it, but he does what he wants. He doesn't take 50% of my business. He's got
Right.
all the money in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously from the get-go, he never said that.
Right.
And I was really surprised one day. I can't remember what it was. I did something that actually made him proud of me. And he said, son, I just want to let you know, like, it was almost like he was mad and proud at the same time. He was like, I just want to let you know, I didn't open this business for me. I didn't do this with you for me. He said, I did it for you. In
Yeah.
the future. And I said, oh, okay, awesome. Thanks. So like, he got a little soft.
Yeah.
I never seen him get soft. I mean, like, if you knew my dad, you can't. He's like one of those guys you will never read him. You can't
Yeah.
read an expression on his face.
Holy shit.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking, like you watch the Green Beret guys and the fucking Navy SEALs and these guys, SEAL Team 6. He's pretty much one of those guys.
Yeah.
Like, hard fucking core. You never know if you saw
Poker
him.
face.
But yeah, it's like he scares the shit out of everybody. My best friend,
Yeah.
Joey, he runs my whole clinic now. He's still back in Alabama. He's
Oh,
moving
wow.
down here because we're going to open another one.
Nice.
But like, he didn't really believe me when we first started. And once he really got to know my dad, he was like, dude, your dad is a scary motherfucker. He said, I would never mess with him. He said, even if he's 68 years old and he's a $170 and I'm 220 yoked and I wrestled in high school, he said, I would never fight your dad. He would murder me. Just the way he looks at people, he's like, you can tell he's got that, like,
That's crazy.
he's got like lions inside him. When
Yeah.
he just shreds you apart with the military. It's just
That's
like
nuts.
it's like a different mindset. I think that's where the
Yeah.
entrepreneurship in a lot of people comes from too.
Yeah.
That's where mine comes from. It's that source from the military. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's never a no. It's always a yes. It can be done.
There's a way.
It will be done.
Yeah.
It's like you never turn around. There's not a, hey, let's turn around and go back the other way. It's, hey, we're going through that shit.
Yeah.
If it kills us, we're still going through it. So it's
Right.
like, I just never gave up.
Right.
That was
Right.
the biggest thing for me.
Nice. And so when did you move to Miami?
Okay, yeah. So we got off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2014
tangent,
opened
though.
that clinic.
Yeah.
Opened up Vital Force 2018. 2022 around September, I think it was when I made the move.
Oh,
What's
okay.
crazy there is there is there was a female involved before I moved down that I got with, and she was really young. She's 20 years old at the time.
Wow.
But, I took a little bit of psychology in college, but she was like a master at this shit. I'm talking like, she could manipulate anybody to do anything at any time, just a fucking genius. She was actually on the scale of like autism.
Oh,
but
wow.
a functional autistic person.
Right.
If you know anything about that,
Yeah,
actually
like
medically,
Asperger's.
They're literally geniuses. It's like an
Yeah.
Einstein. Like,
Right.
Like she'll fuck you up in 2 seconds. You try to argue with her, you try to win something. Oh, it's never happening.
Holy
so witty, it's unbelievable. But she taught me a shit ton about myself. Like, I'm a pretty masculine man, I'd say, but I'm also very humble. But I mean, dude, every day she's putting me on my place about something.
Oh my God.
Something I did wrong. I never had any female call me out on anything.
Yeah.
And I'd do something. It's not like really bad stuff, but she's just like, hey, don't do that shit. Don't talk to me like that. That's wrong. Here's what it should be. And I'm like, damn, okay. Like, I need to step my game up a little bit. There's a lot of shit that I don't know that she's telling me. And it made me even a better man. You know,
right.
Just different perspectives.
Of course.
It wasn't that it was necessarily like bad things that I was doing. It'd be hard to even give you an example. It's just like,
right.
She's
small things.
Yeah, she opened my eyes to like a different world. She grew up in a different world too. I mean,
right.
I can't tell much of her story, but yeah, I mean, she almost died twice. I mean, she was, you know, just kind of abusive family, things like that.
Yeah.
So she came from a really rough upbringing.
So she helped inspire you to move to Miami?
Yeah. Oh, I remember the day to the T. You know, she hated my parents because she was the one that inspired me to even get more tattoos and just do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
And I started really like rebelling against my dad at that point because they were trying to control me hard because they knew I was starting to kind of like really come up.
Yeah.
And like it scared my dad because he's like, all right, we don't know what he's going to do. Because my dad, again, being military, he likes control. He likes
stability.
Very disciplined, scheduled, same thing every day, all the time.
Right.
You know, he doesn't like anything he doesn't like change. So it scared him to death. But yeah, I mean, they invited me to lunch. I said I was going to bring her, and they were like, no, we want you to come alone. And like, she obviously heard the phone call, and she got pretty upset. She's like, why? That's ridiculous. I can't go to your family to lunch, you know? And so I went, and she was like, you need to stand up to them. Like, you need to tell them what the fuck's up. Like, that's not okay that I can't come. This isn't just like some family thing. It's just like they just didn't want me there. You know, and I was kind of upset about it too. I'm like, you know, you're right. Like, I'm proud of you. You've taught me a lot. You're my girlfriend at the time. Like, you should be respected too. And then when I say, hey, I'm bringing someone, my parents should respect me. I'm like, hey, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like we had to have some family talk. And yeah, so I stood up to him then. Oh, my mom cried. You know, Dad cussed me out pretty much at the restaurant.
Oh, shit.
I left. They didn't talk to me for a month.
Holy shit.
Literally, it was bad. And then that was when I, you know, had Joey getting trained. So we went ahead and, you know, made the move to Miami against their will, you know, for like almost a year and a half, probably till about 6 months ago.
Wow.
Me and my dad, we still don't talk much, but we have our here and there. He'll loosen up. Like I said, he'll have that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, moved down in 2022.
You didn't know anybody when you moved down here?
One person, my best friend from back home, moved down. I lived with him for 6 months.
Holy shit.
My current girlfriend, Nicole, we moved in together 2 weeks after we met each other. I trained her for her bodybuilding show. I called her. It was like 2 weeks out from the show. I trained her into it, went to the show together, and we got back and we literally moved in together.
Holy shit.
Everything I do is just like off the wall, 100% opposite of what he wants to do. Oh, everybody and their mother was like, hey, that's a bad move. Don't do that. You know, we've been together for over a year, living together. Everything's
great.
You know,
that's great. Wow.
So yeah, pretty wild. I got so many different stories.
Yeah, and when you moved to Miami, were you already into cars? Did you already have a collection? Or?
Yeah, when I moved down, I remember I had to get the transport ready, but I had a 2017 Mustang GT350.
Nice.
With the Whipple supercharger, 1,000 horsepower.
Sick.
The wheels thing was nasty.
Yeah.
And one of the old Ford Lightnings I had fully built. I dropped $80K into that truck. It was like my baby. It was amazing. And I had one of the 2020 C8 Corvette.
Nice.
But I had it done just like kind of like a Ferrari. I had the Lambo doors on it. Calipers were yellow. I had the custom 2021 wheels.
Nice.
Body, carbon body kit on them. I mean, it was the nastiest Corvette around. Full exhaust, no cats. I mean,
crazy.
It got a lot of attention. But yeah, it was like I thought I was killing it at the time. And then, and then that was what a year, not even a year and a half ago. And now I got 2022 Urus decked out, lowered, $20,000 wheels. R8 I just bought cash.
Damn.
Bought the Brabus, the 2019 Brabus cash.
Damn. You have the Huracan?
That's actually my girl's Huracan. So
wow.
She's only 25.
Holy
no credit.
Shit.
So I put a $80K down payment on that one, and she just pays the monthly payments. It's really like our car. It's under my name because they wouldn't even put it under hers because she doesn't have any credit because she's too young and just have normal jobs.
That's the Miami effect. You moved down here with Mustangs, and now you have
exactly.
Huracans
Literally,
and Uruses.
I moved down here with, let's see, like 60, let's call it 60, 120, maybe pushing it $200,000 in cars, and like a year and a half later I got $1 million in cars.
It's crazy.
And probably double or triple in my bank account that I had when I moved down. You know what I mean?
What led to all that income and all that growth?
Like I said, I think it was just getting down here around these other entrepreneurs, networking. I mean, to this day I keep a list right here on my phone with all the people that I meet, what they do. Like you're in there, people I've networked with. And dude, anything I need or a deal that could be made, I can be a middleman to make money. I hit him up. Hey, I got a guy I want to connect you with.
Right.
He wants to do this, this, and this. You might be interested. You know what I mean?
It's great.
And I do that, and yeah, just
amazing.
Opportunities come. I think too. Like I said, when you're a good person, you put out the positive energy into the world. The universe feels that, and it comes back.
100%. And where do you do a lot of your networking, in the gym or what?
Yeah, a lot in the gym. Like last year, I was going out a ton. Like I said, I wouldn't party when I went out, but I would use it as a business,
right?
Kind of a business excuse. Like we'd go out every weekend. We just pick a different club, go.
You don't drink?
I don't drink anymore. No, I would drink a little bit when I went out, but yeah, I've never been a big drinker.
Right.
Not really any drugs or any of that stuff. It's just it's not been something that ever appealed to me. I still like to go out and have a good time.
Of course.
Like my birthday's this upcoming week.
Oh, obviously, shit! Happy
Joey
birthday!
Will be down here Thursday, so yeah. I mean, we'll do a yacht this weekend.
Nice.
I'll probably drink a little this weekend.
Yeah, you gotta have a good time.
Yeah, just special occasions.
Of course.
But it's usually
awesome.
I mean, I still consider myself young, turning 38. It's like it's still all work for me right now.
100%.
I'm just trying to stack money and make more connections.
Yeah.
Because like you moved down here, my boy Vincent Fisher. I'll rep him. Check him out, Vincent Fisher.
Dude,
Fitness.
I found out about him recently,
bro.
He's 21.
He just turned 21. I met him when he was just turning 20 about a year and a half ago. We lived in the same building. Had no idea who he was. I'm like, dude, look at this guy.
It's crazy.
In my head, I'm like, positive mindset, but I'm like, man, this guy looks like he's crazy looking.
Yeah.
Got this big chain on, fro, but he's like, light skinned, almost black guy / Dominican looking.
Yeah.
Just tall as shit, looks like an ape. And, I'm just like, okay, just another Miami guy. And then like I said, I met him. I'm like, bro, you're making how much a month right now and you're 20? You own a Huracan and a Dawn Rolls Royce outright? All right, I can get with this. And like I said, me and him work together. We network, shit like that. So, but
that's awesome.
I took him a couple weeks ago. I was like, bro, you need to do something crazy. I'm like, it's time to step up your game. I'm like, you're making ... a month, which is doubled from when I met you 1 year ago. I'm like, it's time for you to double again. But I said, you're not going to do that until you get the lifestyle content up. I said, let's go to Carrio or limited spec. Let's get you a SF90.
Nice.
$500,000 car. I went that day, bought one.
It's crazy.
And then I said, dude, I saw your content yesterday you posted. Now you got the Dawn 2017 next to a 2021 SF90. I said, bro, they don't match.
Yeah.
It looks like shit. I said, it's going to actually hurt you. I said, and it's funny, up on his leaderboard, he'd been putting this into fruition for years. That was, he wanted like a Ferrari and like a Phantom. I'm like, bro, get the Phantom. He found a Phantom crazy. 2 weeks later. He got his Phantom a couple days ago. It's sick.
That's
2023. So he's got $1 million.
He got at Carrio's spot.
Yeah,
right?
have you seen it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've known Carrio probably like 5-6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
He used to work out at my gym.
They sourced it for him. I think it was out of Atlanta or somewhere like that. But he got it from another dealer, and they pulled it in for him that day.
Amazing.
He went and picked it up at midnight and did the unveiling and shit.
Crazy.
But yeah, you got to think. These guys are 2021 doing that. It's like, dude, I got to keep pushing it. I'm 38. I'm behind. So that's what's crazy. I just started making money. I didn't start making money until, like I said, I was almost 34 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like real money. I mean, obviously, it was a chiro. I don't even count that.
Yeah.
That was, to me, that was a 9 to 5.
Of course. Yeah. In Miami, the money's fucking crazy.
I mean, as soon as I moved down here, it's like, dude, I've only been doing this for a year and a half. And I'm doubling, tripling, trying to quadruple. It's like, dude, I'm gonna start 10x of my money. So I mean, I'm launching on my birthday, July 23rd, which will be next Tuesday.
Yeah,
my VitalMed business that you probably saw me posting.
Awesome.
So,
yes.
So it's Vital Force is the business in Alabama. We obviously have the full clinic. We do anti-aging, hormones, stem cells. I've had like a telemedicine business down here for that with a Florida doctor. But we're taking it a step further now. I've created another business, Vital Med, so it's kind of almost like a spin-off sister company. I'll be the 100% owner of that one.
Amazing.
It's just full peptides right now online. We're going to do a bunch of wholesale accounts and try to grow that one. But,
awesome.
I want to hit $1 million a month at that business within 12 months. That's the goal.
Nice.
And then we're going to probably open the clinic like we were talking about somewhere right here in Brickell, bro.
Yeah.
Hopefully January, February.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll have the IVs, we'll have stem cells, we'll sell the peptides. Hormone replacement for men and women, just everything under the sun, anti-aging.
Yeah.
Here we'll probably add the infrared saunas and everything else because I know the people love that stuff.
Yeah,
here.
they do.
All the Botox.
Yes.
So we're going to have all that here.
Nice. That's amazing. What are peptides for people that don't know?
So peptides are just a long chain of amino acids. I know most people that work out obviously take like just liquid amino acids.
Right.
So that's really all they are. So they're they're technically, I hate using the word synthetic, but they are synthetically made.
Okay.
But they're made synthetically from natural components, and they're just amino acids.
Okay.
If you know anything about like biochemistry,
Yes.
which most people probably have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Yeah.
you know, they're obviously made for specific reasons. Like for instance, the top 5 that we're going to be selling: BPC 157 TB 500 combo. That one's huge.
What is that for?
They're all subcutaneous injection, like under the skin. So that one's going to be good for like wound healing, injury prevention, gut health, inflammation throughout the body. So like, let's say you tore your quad at the gym. I can give you that TB BBZ 500. You can inject it directly local into the spot you tore it. The doctors will say, hey, you're going to be 8 to 12 weeks before you can even lift again. Bro, you'll be back in the gym doing leg extensions with, you know, half the weight you were doing within 4 weeks.
Wow.
I tore my quad and used it.
Holy
Incredible.
shit.
You know, cut your healing time in half. But then for me, I use it daily for anti-aging. So quicker recovery from your workouts, less inflammation. You got to think, people don't realize inflammation in itself on a base level is what creates cancer. Inflammation just causes all kinds of damage to your blood vessels, your whole body, and it allows free radicals to just continually replicate, and that can turn into cancer cells.
Gotcha.
So yeah, BPC is amazing. You know, I'm not saying BPC treats cancer or anything like that,
Yeah.
but it's gonna, you know, it's an anti-aging preventative peptide.
What else?
We have tesamorelin. I'm on that now for cutting down. It's a growth hormone peptide, so it works just like real growth hormone, except growth hormone is from an animal source and you inject it, so it shuts down your natural production, just like testosterone.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, so the peptides only enhance what you already naturally make. So let's say the tesamorelin, you inject it, your pituitary gland in your brain is where your growth hormone's made. Let's say it'll double your natural production. Because after 25, you're going to start losing like 0.5% of your production a year as we age. That's why our skin looks wrinkly. You know, it's our sagging. We get old. We get fatter. We get less lean. That's because your growth hormone production and your testosterone's going down.
Gotcha.
So
and if you stop taking it, it won't fuck with your hormones.
So like let's say your growth hormone level, let's say the range is 1 to 500 is the normal range.
Yeah.
Let's say you're at 250. You take the tesamorelin, it's going to boost you up to 500. Let's say you took it for 6 months and you're like, okay, I'm lean enough. You know, tesamorelin specifically made to target adipose fat, which is tissue on the gut, so it's going to remove the stomach fat.
Wow.
So let's say you get to 500 and you've been on for a while and you come up. Well, you're just going to slowly go back to the 250. A lot of patients will still stay even a notch above, kind of in between, because you've stimulated your natural production again through your brain. So you basically turned your axis back on and telling it to produce more, almost like in your car.
Yeah.
Well, if you add some, injector cleaner and some octane booster or race gas to your car, it's going to run better, right?
Yeah.
Faster. So it's the same concept.
Wow,
the
that's
tesamorelins
awesome.
for that. The CJC ipamorelin, it's a bi-combo of growth hormone strictly for muscle building and fat burning, recovery from workouts, sleeping, collagen production, which is going to, again, be huge in anti-aging.
Yeah.
Because most people ask me, like, hey, man, what do you do? You know, how do you look pretty young? You look healthy,
Right.
you're 38. I'm like, man, I just do the growth hormone peptides,
Wow.
things like that. They keep you young.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I'm out in the sun all the time. You see, I'm pretty dark.
Yeah.
Most people getting wrinkly as shit at my age. Dude,
Yes.
I've never worn sunscreen a day in my life.
Really? Wow.
Maybe like when I was a baby and my pants put on the sun. But
yeah.
as soon as I knew, I never wore it. Probably from 15 on, I never wore sunscreen.
Wow. That's crazy. If you're comfortable answering, do you still take some gear as well with that?
Yeah, everything's pretty closely monitored
Yeah.
though. My main thing is the peptides because they're much safer,
Right.
they're healthier. That's why I got in this business. It's like I said, having multiple strokes, things like that, being on the verge of death,
Yeah.
dying twice. It's like,
Of course.
I want to spread the way to do things properly and healthy.
course.
So, yeah, I mean, if you do TRT the right way, take the proper amount of testosterone.
Yeah.
Because I took it for so long as a kid. I mean, when I went and had my blood work done at one point, I always had issues with it. When I was 17, my testosterone was like 75. Yeah,
That's
it was
low.
like non-existent, basically.
Holy shit.
They put me on the Clomid protocol, which is most people know it nowadays is enclomiphene or Clomid.
Yeah.
It's half estrogen, half testosterone. It's a tablet you take, and it turns your brain, your center axis back on to stimulate your natural production to bring it back up. That's like one of our natural protocols. I took it. It didn't work. A lot of people, too, it has a really bad effect. It makes them almost psychotic.
Holy
it made me
shit.
feel crazy. I wanted
my
to kill
God.
myself. Like, I felt like I almost had, something in my head just
Yeah.
bouncing off. So I quit taking that, and they put me on testosterone. So I've
Wow.
been on it ever since. But yeah, proper TRT with 2 or 3 peptides. My favorite one is, like I said, right now I'm on the tesamorelin. Then I do samorelin, which is one that actually makes you a little hungrier. It still burns body fat, but it'll allow you to eat a little bit more food, so then I can kind of still stay full, nice and filled out, but I'm still losing body fat in the right areas.
Yeah.
I do IGF, which IGF, most people don't know, it's insulin-like growth factor.
Okay.
So it's a growth hormone derivative that's based more on your insulin levels. So again, what it does is, like, let's say, for instance, you take a bunch of extra testosterone. You see guys in the gym doing testosterone, they get big. Well, what it's doing is just growing. Let's say you had 100 bicep tissue cells. Well, it's just going to create hypertrophy of the 100 that's there. It's going to make them bigger, right? They're going to get bigger. Like, your biceps going to get bigger.
Gotcha.
Well, IGF will split the 100 into 200, and then everything else you're doing and eating will grow the 200 to the same size as the 100 you did have.
Yeah.
So you have much more, they call it hyperplasia, obviously in medical terms, much more effective in really getting freakishly big.
Wow.
So that's how I put a lot of my size on, was the IGF.
And there's no side effects?
So the only, like, the worst side effect they say that IGF could cause is, like, let's say you had active cancer or something like that, or a tumor.
Gotcha.
It could potentially enlarge it. But
right.
I mean, most people, like I said, you're not, we've been doing this stuff for years. There's tons of research on it.
Yeah.
That's like a 1 in a million, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never had any.
And what's the name of that company again, so we can
so
shout it out?
VitalMed FL is
VitalMed
the new Instagram page.
Sick.
But
okay.
the company's called VitalMed, but yeah, just open the Instagram page.
So everyone follow that Instagram page, and we'll link it below as well.
Yeah, if you go there, you
FL.
can at least see I've already posted a few of the peptides and give descriptions of them.
Will people be able to purchase online?
100%. Yeah, we'll get we're actually getting the merchant company set up tomorrow.
Amazing.
So to be able to purchase.
And peptides don't require any kind of prescription or anything. You can just kind of just purchase them.
That's where it gets hairy too.
Okay.
Why I'm doing what I'm doing is because the FDA and all the powers that be in our Alabama clinic, they basically made most of the peptides a class 2 now. So like testosterone's a class 3 controlled substance. You got to have a DEA number, like your MD has to prescribe it. They've made, the peptides a class 2, which is similar. They kind of grouped it in with amphetamines and some other stuff, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
And then because they're not doing this because they're dangerous. They're doing this because
they want to make money off.
They, you can't bill insurance for these peptides, et cetera, et cetera. So they don't want anybody taking them.
Yeah.
Because it's replacing, real growth hormone and other things that you got to have prescription for. It's just big pharma BS.
Of course.
There's always loopholes.
Gotcha.
There's always ways around things. So what we found legally, talking to obviously all the, the healthcare attorneys, things like that.
Yeah.
I have a waiver now that has everything we need on it that patients sign. I can sell the peptides as, a
not for human consumption.
They technically just say they have, they don't have to. There's more liability if they don't. But like on the back of mine, it'll still say, research purposes only.
Gotcha.
It doesn't have to necessarily say not for human consumption. It just says research purposes.
Gotcha.
So what we do though is we sell them. You can sell them online, not patient specific prescription. You can sell them to anybody. We still have the rule of you got to be 18 or over.
Gotcha.
We have the form. If you have any of the issues we want, so like let's say, have you had cancer, et cetera, things like that. If they trick yes on those, we're not going to sell them to you.
Right.
If not, you can. The only thing is we only sell you the peptide bottle. It's a lipolyzed product, which means it comes in a powder form. You have to buy your bacteriostatic water and your syringes separate from us to take it, because now we're selling it as what we call it as a medically or doctor recommended supplement.
Gotcha.
So we're not selling it as a patient prescription anymore. We're selling it as an actual supplement because it's a bottle, comes standalone. It's just a powder, just like a capsule or anything else.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly legal to do so within certain realms. Now, again, the company that we get ours from, it's not like these. This is the big kicker part. You can go online right now. I mean, I'll even say a couple sites, but like Peptide Sciences or something. It's probably one of the number one peptide sites I used to even order from. They're still underground. You don't really know exactly where they're sourcing their powders and peptides from. It's not from any kind of medical anything that I'm aware of. So like for ours, where ours get sourced from, we have a company. It's all USA in Cummings, Georgia. I can say that because it's on the website if they go check it out. Vitalpeps.com is the website.
Okay.
It's not fully done. Once you guys go in there, you can still see everything, but you can't purchase yet. We're setting the merchant up. But you have to have a doctor's NPI to register and log in to even get a wholesale account to purchase them. Gotcha. So like you as an attorney, you try to go on there, you're not a doctor, you couldn't purchase them.
Gotcha.
They're only for doctors and people with NPI numbers who have access to these. So that's kind of the gray area. You know what I mean? They're not just selling to anybody. You know, they're medically regulated. They're way better than the black market stuff because you have to have an NPI. They're sourced, you know, in a sense, I say locally, USA. You're not getting a bunch of crap from China. So they're much safer. They come with COAs, so which means certificate authentication. They're third-party tested. You'll see how much purity, concentration, everything on the sheet that we post online, which gives them a lot more legitimacy. And obviously they cost a lot more because it's not some, you know, it's not some stuff, who knows, being made in your grandma's basement. You know what I mean?
No, that's crazy.
So that's, you know, it's going to blow up. It's going to be huge. I mean, literally, like I said, I haven't even opened the company yet. I've already had 4 or 5 med spas reaching out to me. Hey, we want a wholesale account. Like, I actually sold 40 vials today already. And I had to literally take Zelle directly to my personal account because the business account, I just got the numbers today. And don't even have a way to put it in there yet because the lady was like, hey, I can't do a wire from my phone. I was like, just sell it to me in 2 payments. I'll move it over tomorrow, and then moving forward, we'll be good to go. So it's like, you know, I mean, it's.
You think this is going to disrupt the steroid industry a little bit, or just supplement it?
I think it's just going to supplement it, like you said. Everybody's still always going to do their crazy stuff. You know, the old school bodybuilders, they want to take the Tren and the Winstraw and the Mastron and all that crazy stuff, but you really don't need it. I mean, like I said, you get the growth hormone peptides in the system, some IGF, you do your TRT and your diet's 100%, bro. You can look however you want to look. You know what I mean? You can look pretty crazy. You can go check out my page and see what I look like throughout. You can scroll back, see how shredded I've been.
What's your Instagram again for them?
Dr. Russ, so Dr.RRUSS.
That's what it is. Awesome. And just to backtrack a little, your friends that are chiropractors, what has their reaction been to you taking the unorthodox route?
Honestly, I mean, behind closed doors, I think they're all a little jealous. You know what I mean? Or let's say envious. They're not jealous. Yeah, they're all a little bit envious. You know, again, because I even gave a couple of them an opportunity way in the young days before I moved down here. I'm like, hey guys, y'all want to get in on this? It's going to be big. You know, do you want to franchise with me? Those things. I gave 2 or 3 of my buddies a chance. They didn't want to. You know, and they're doing decent. But like I said, they're not living in Miami with $1 million in supercars and still plenty of money in the bank, investment accounts, and everything else. And they're definitely kicking themselves. I know I would be if I was in their shoes. I mean, you know, and I'd give any opportunity coming now. I mean, we can, you know, we're franchising our company out. Anyone who wants to jump in, it's easy. I mean, everything's turnkey. It's all set up. All you got to do is get the doctors, and boom, you're good to go. You know, you do your buy-in just like a, you know, Chick-fil-A or Chipotle or anything else, and then you can go to town, you know? So anyone can do it. I mean, because we're going to show you the ropes of how to. So.
And when it comes to building these businesses, what do you think is one of the, what's the most important lesson you've learned along the way?
The biggest thing, man, is honestly, it falls back to that entrepreneurship. It's a team. It's, you know, having, like, for instance, me being the leader and then hiring other people, training them exactly how I would want the business run, but then just teaching them everything from A to Z, how to do that well. And all of it in my business comes back to organization and sales. You know what I mean? If you've got structure with organization and an amazing sales team, because in my business, we don't take insurance other than the blood work. Everything is sales. But you have to be medical sales. That's the kicker. Like, you know, if some guy came in and said, oh, hey, I was a car salesman, I'd be like, you're the worst person we want as a salesman. You know, because they just, you know, they gouge people, they harass them. Like, there's a huge fine line of like, hey, we medically recommend this. We lay it all out. Here's what we think you should have based on the doctor's recommendations. We can do this, this, and this. We have it in bundles. You can do it monthly. And boom, it's pretty easy if you know how to read people's psychology, how they're sitting. You know, I mean, if you got some guy across the table with his leg crossed and he's sitting like this in the defensive position, I mean, you know, you're not going to sell anything to the guy until you figure out, you know, what he's really after. But it's all about, again, finding the solution. You know.
And how big is your team in Alabama?
I think we have, I don't even know now. We've hired some more people because we're in an expansive phase. I'd say we have about 12 employees right now for one clinic.
That's great.
Yeah. Because like I said, we do some of the telemedicine. So we have, you know, we have 1 full-time nurse. We have 4 or 5 of the PRNs for fill-in. We have 2 full-time nurse practitioners. Obviously, my father's the MD. We've got let's see, 2 full-time front desk staff, 1 that's kind of a personal assistant that just works. She's in nursing school, so she just works and helps Joey like 2-3 days a week. She comes in like before work and after, and helps him with just
Yeah.
whatever he needs, because Joey's obviously the clinic director. He runs everything.
Gotcha.
I just gave him a percentage of the business, and he makes sure
Amazing.
everything goes smooth. So that's the cool thing, though.
Yeah.
He's training everybody now. We've almost got it done. We're in that growth phase. In about 2 months, that office will stabilize and run itself even without him there.
Awesome.
So I've been bringing him down here more and more. Like at first it was like, hey, once every 6 months.
Yeah.
Once every 2 months. Now
Yeah.
it's like, now he's like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week. When I come back, everything needs to be the same. And now he goes back, everything's running smooth. So we're going to have him move down here
Nice.
permanently, like you said, hopefully in the next 2-3 months. And then we're going to start hammering out, he'll start hammering out the vital med with me. We're going to look, obviously we're already looking for a location space, all that. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
It's exciting.
Because down here, I mean, let's just say, for instance, I was doing, $250,000 a month in revenue in Alabama. The household income is like, if you're a single person, like let's say you were working alone at some 9-to-5 job, you're making $60,000 a year.
Right.
Multi-family home, you're making 120, maybe 200 max if you're pushing it, working for like Alabama Power or some big company.
Yeah.
AT&T.
Yeah,
There's not that much money in Alabama for just your regular kind of, lower middle class. Down here in Miami, obviously that's not the case.
Right.
You can't even get a condo in Miami, the crappiest one, for less than $3,000 a month.
Right.
Right. I think the revenue will be
100%.
It'll be triple down
Yeah,
here.
and that was going to be like the next thing I was going to say. If you could make it in Alabama, where people don't have much money, small town.
That's what I'm saying.
In Miami, you'll blow up. People here just want to spend all their money.
Exactly.
That's become part of the culture.
Especially on anti-aging. You got to think. I mean, Miami is literally, in my opinion, it's the biggest culture even more in Cali now. It's all just
looking good.
Yeah, it's just, hey, how young can I look?
Yeah.
It's like, let's keep up with the Mr. Joneses. You know what I mean?
It really
like,
is.
That guy's got a Mercedes. Okay, I got to get a Bentley. Oh, he's got a Bentley. I need a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a Rolls Royce. I'm getting a Bugatti.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's always
It's
everyone here's
true.
always competing. It's why I love it.
Yeah.
Like this town will either elevate you or it'll drown your ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. When I first moved down here and I didn't know the game, I mean, I can't tell you. The first 2-3 months, I lost like $30,000.
Yeah.
People scamming me, all kind of shit. I just
bet.
had no idea what was going on.
I bet.
I had to learn the ropes real quick.
Yeah. And now you have all these cars. What are some of your dream cars? To go back to the cars a little bit.
I mean, like I said, I'm pretty, honestly, man, I've always been a pretty simple guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always just liked riding dirt bikes, extreme shit. Like, for me, it's more of, the cars, they're cool, but they don't give you that true excitement. I think Jaden said something about that maybe in one of your podcasts I saw. Like, it's kind of like once you drive them enough times, you're just like, it's just like driving a Buick or a damn Accord. It's the enjoyment's not there.
Yeah.
That's how I've always been, I think, because how I was raised too. Like, for me, nothing is ever good enough.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was raised.
That's good, though. You're never satisfied,
It's a double-edged sword. It's a beautiful thing because you're always going to push. You're always going to try to be on top.
Right.
But also it can suck you in. It can be miserable when you just want to like, hey, okay, I just want to chill a minute.
Yeah.
I want to unwind. I want to just enjoy myself. Dude, I can't do that. I wake up every morning and I look around. I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to go to the beach today and chill. My brain, it won't turn off. It won't let me.
Yeah,
and then when I go do it and I make myself, I'm sitting out there like in the beach here going,
Yeah.
I gotta do something. Like, where's my phone? I gotta make some money. I need to just do this. Like, you feel like you always have to do something, even if there is nothing to do. And you're like, dude, I'm bringing in the most money. I'm sitting here making money, not doing anything. Your brain just won't turn off. So it can, again, and that's where it can kind of consume you and be a little bit destructive. So you have to, I hate the word balance because I'm the most unbalanced person in the world.
Right.
But I've found the older I get, to me, I call it the 80-20 rule. As an entrepreneur,
I was literally there's a book on the 80-20 rule.
Exactly.
Have you read it?
I mean, I've never heard the 80-20 rule, but just for me, in my experience, to me, an 80-20 rule, I always follow that with nutrition.
Yeah.
My whole life is like, okay, if I'm not doing a show or I have to be extreme because I want to go extreme,
right.
80-20.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow my diet, but, once a day I'm going to eat something I want. It's the same thing with my business stuff. It's like, okay, you have to take some breaks. I don't get burnt out per se, but like you said, you will definitely just go until your body just shuts you down.
Yeah, 100%. Nice. So you got this opening up in Florida. What else is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on the vital med for the next 6 months.
Awesome.
See how big I can get it.
Awesome.
On just the online and the wholesale.
Yeah.
And obviously on the side we'll be looking at locations. That's why I'm bringing Joey down. He'll be the head of all that shit. I'll just check in with him. He'll be like, I'll just be like, hey, you find a location? Yep. All right, let's go check it out.
Great.
All right. let's pick between these three. Let's negotiate a deal. Once he does that, all right, go ahead and get it set up, order everything. He'll be the head of all that, and I'll just kind of pop in once a week, make sure everything's going smooth, and then we'll get the clinic open. Yeah, that'll allow me to focus on branding the Vital Med, because that was my plan. I mean, again, people don't think like this. Like Andrew Tate said it best. He's like, dude, before you open an LLC and you do all this shit, he said, find a product to sell.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start selling it. Don't even have it yet, but know what it is.
Yeah.
And literally take 1,000 orders and then just tell everybody, oh, hey, it's in such high demand. We don't have it, but we'll have it in 3 weeks. We're sorry for the delay, and you're going to get a special gift with it. You know what I mean? And then you throw in an extra T-shirt or some keychain lanyards and whatever else it might be. You know what I mean? So it's like, people don't think about that. So it's like, for me,
you got to create the demand.
Yeah, first. Like for me, it's like, okay, I'm getting exposure with more of the online, super cheap startup cost. Literally a website, open the bank account, and just start running with it, start selling product. That'll give me exposure, which I already have some, but just for that business itself.
Yeah.
And then boom, then do the clinic, because it's like, hey, I could literally take the money from the Vital Med peptides and fund the whole operation to open the clinic and not come out a cent out of my pocket within 6 months. To me, that's a smart move. Or like you said, you can do what the big boy entrepreneurs do sometimes. You go get a loan, you use everybody else's money, or you raise money, raise capital with investors. I mean, there's
I don't believe in that.
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like to take people's money. I didn't even like taking my dad's, and it wasn't that much money. Like I said, I borrowed about $200K from him total.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all paid back, et cetera. Paid it back really quick because
it's better to bootstrap.
I just don't like owing people money.
Me too.
And the same thing, even if it's a bank, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But if you want to scale, sometimes you have to. It just depends. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But if you can find someone, for instance, like let's say me, you, and 2 or 3 other well-known guys in Miami want to do something. If we put all our capital together, we could scale the heck out of it, and then just be a certain percentage each, and do it that. I'd rather do that all day than borrow it from a bank, if 100%. Possible.
I agree.
And that's just my advice to anybody.
Nice.
If you don't have to borrow the money, don't.
Agree, 100%.
Like you said, you can always do the long play, like I did. I mean, like you said.
Do you follow Andy Frisella at all? Mm-hmm. So he's huge on that, not borrowing any money, and he's built a multi-billion-dollar business.
Exactly.
Plenty of them as well. So that's you never know what you could learn from who, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you got all these different guys out there. It doesn't matter who it is. You can listen to all of them. I mean, like I can't remember some of the guys' names, especially about the economy. Like one guy's like, oh, you need to, like Grant Cardone. Oh, it's all real estate. And you got the other guy that's all like gold.
Right.
And then you got another guy that's like, oh, it's borrow, like you're saying, just raise capital. It's like, well, they're all technically right. They're all multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
So clearly they know what they're doing. It's like, I don't think there's really a right and a wrong way. I think it's what fits what you're trying to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what category are you in? Are you
100%.
health and wellness? Are you an attorney? Are you,
There's a million ways to make $1 million. You just got to pick one, right?
That's a good. How much money is it? You got to make a day to make $1 million, and they're like, I think
it's about 3,000.
Is it 3,000?
Yeah.
3,000 a day.
3,000 a day to make $1 million.
3,333. I can't remember. Some guy put that in my head one day. I was like, it's not that bad.
No, it's not. Dude, I was sitting at dinner the other day talking about money, and then we'll probably end it soon. But last night I was at Komodo. 2 tables over is fucking Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I saw that on your post. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, he brought his $300 million yacht down here and launched it. I saw it the other day.
Crazy. And he owns like $250 million worth of real estate.
People don't realize that Miami is pretty much already is. It's going to be the financial capital of the world now.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think, like I was telling you outside. I mean, they're going to have like 30 new buildings up by 2027 or 2020. I mean, it's nuts.
It's just transformed.
Everyone is moving here that has money. I can't remember what that guy's name was, but they showed it the other day. It's actually kind of down the street from us off of 11th, kind of one of those corners. I mean, he bought like one little lot. It was like 2 acres, some shit like that, like $275 million right here.
Wow.
And then he bought a building that was already established for like, I mean, I don't even know what it was, close to $1 billion. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So obviously these guys coming here and buying up all this property know something like other people don't. It's like, dude, this place is about to be really booming.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think people from Dubai are moving here. I've seen princes here. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody with big money is coming to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
crazy.
It's nuts. So.
It's awesome. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else you want to say to the camera?
I don't know.
To the podcast, to the viewers?
I mean, it's hard for me being put on the spot. I usually just go off the cuff. But yeah, I mean, I mean,
if there's one thing you can learn from him, it's to fucking be yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, my personal advice is, dude, just, no matter how you feel, whether you're insecure that day when you wake up, no matter what's going on in your life, do whatever the fuck you want to do. 100% be yourself. That's what's going to free you.
Yeah.
And when you free yourself, in my opinion, that's when you're going to find that kind of artistic side, that entrepreneurial side, and you're just going to everything's going to start popping up in your head. Yeah. What can I do here? What can I do there? Oh, and it's just going to be a plethora of ideas that you never knew even was inside your body or your mind. And you're like, holy shit, okay. I have 20 ideas in 5 minutes now of how I can, make $1 million, find the girl of my dreams, whatever it might be that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell you want to do, it's going to happen at that point.
Yeah, it's awesome. If you guys enjoyed this, follow him on social media, check out the new company, and share this podcast with 3 friends. Thank you, bro. We killed it. Oh, yeah. You're the man. Thank you.